Welcome to the webinar today. Today we are going to be doing a lot of listening exercises. The title of this is Learning to Listen. And listening is such a huge part of learning correct English pronunciation and fluency. We really need to tune your ear to the sounds and the rhythm of English. And in order to do that, we have to learn to listen. We have to learn to, you need to learn to hear all of the differences in the English sounds. You need to be able to hear that rhythm that is created with the English accent, the American English accent. And the key skill that you have to develop in order to achieve this is listening. And with for all those who are members of Pronunciation Pro and are currently going through the course, it's a big part of the course. It's what you start every lesson with, is listening exercises. Being able to tune your ear to the sound that you're working on and be able to hear the difference between that sound and other English sounds. This is especially true with English vowels. Okay, so today in this webinar, we are going to do a lot with listening exercises. So I want you to, for those who are listening on this call, I want you to become familiar with that question box, and as I'm asking questions and as we're working through some of these exercises, I want you to write down your answers there. And if you're listening to this recording afterwards, because a lot of our members, for our members, we post all of the past webinars under the webinars tab under when you're logged in. And so if you're listening to this and it's not live, you can still go through and give your responses as you're listening to this webinar. All right, so get ready with your question box. Turn off all other email or text or anything. You're going to get a lot out of this webinar if you can kind of remove all distractions and really focus and listen to the sounds, listen to the differences here, and really go through this exercise with me. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Just a brief introduction. My name is Annie Rudin. This is my little family. And I am a speech language pathologist and nationally certified, and I provide accent reduction training for people all over the world. And through my, the parent site, Accent Reduction Center, but our core program is Pronunciation Pro. All right, so just jumping into the material here, one thing I want to emphasize is in English, we have such a mix of words and structure that sometimes doesn't make sense. About 80% of English follows specific rules, but there is about 20% of English that does not. And especially when it comes to individual words and spelling of words, it doesn't always equal the pronunciation of the words. In fact, the spelling and the pronunciation are not equal, unfortunately. There are quite a few languages in the world where that is the case, and wouldn't that make life a lot easier if you could see a word written and know exactly how it's pronounced? In English, it's a little bit different. Again, like I say, about 80% follow the specific rules, and once you get into when you're in the lessons with Pronunciation Pro through our 12-week program, you're learning step by step all of the rules that go along with English pronunciation, and especially when you get to, I think it's week 5, you get into the vowels, or 4 or 5, you get into the vowels and learn the specific rules of English vowels. I also have several webinars that we've done on English vowel rules, which is good to kind of reinforce and help you really learn those rules, because it's important to understand the rules so that you know when you learn to recognize where the exceptions are and start learning those as well. So so going on, it's important to understand that spelling does not equal pronunciation all of the time. Okay, so what we need to do, instead of going through and teaching you each individual English word and how it should be pronounced versus how it's spelled, the key skill you have to learn is listening to those English sounds and how they're pronounced, and really tuning your ear into the pronunciation of English versus the spelling. Okay, so we're going to do a little activity here. This is a poem by Margot Rourke. I think her last name is pronounced. And it's kind of a funny little poem, but basically what she's trying to emphasize here is that spelling, there are several words in English that are spelled differently but pronounced the same. And the same can be said about English words being spelled the same but pronounced different. So not to completely confuse you or overwhelm you, but let's go through this poem. And on the left side here, I have her original poem, the way she has written it. And then on the right side, I corrected all of the spelling mistakes that she purposely put in her poem. But I wrote it in the way that grammatically and with the spelling rules of English it should be spelled. And you can see how both of these, even though the spelling is different on a lot of the words, their pronunciation is exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to read through this and really take a look at, you can kind of follow through either on the left side or the right side, probably on the left side for her original poem. If you follow along with the original poem, it'll be kind of a fun listening exercise, and you can kind of see the differences between the different spellings of English. All right, so I'll go ahead and read through this. I have a spelling checker. It came with my PC. It plainly marks for my review mistakes I cannot see. I strike a key and type a word and wait for it to say. Whether I am right or wrong or right, it shows me straight away. As soon as a mistake is made, it knows before too long, and I can put the error right. It's rarely ever wrong. I have run this poem through it. I am sure you're pleased to know it's letter perfect all the way. My checker told me so. Okay, so kind of a funny, she's obviously playing around with the idea that English spelling is not always so cut and dry. There's different ways to spell things, even though the pronunciation is the same. There's a variety of ways to spell them depending on the meaning of the word. And we're going to play around with that a little bit this morning in this webinar. We're going to play around with the spelling of words and the sounds of words so that we can kind of disconnect ourselves from the spelling of English and really concentrate on the sounds of English. All right, so learning to listen. Let's do some practice here. So here are just some simple words in English that we have the spelling of it, but when you really listen to native English speakers, you're going to notice that the pronunciation is not exactly the way it's spelled, or sometimes it's not what you typically think it would be. So in the word talk, it really is talk, talk. So we're not getting that L any weight there or any pronunciation, and really that A, it's kind of an an O sound. And if in week one, we went over root and phonetics, and that's what I'm using here today. Instead of the International Phonetic Alphabet, I'm just kind of using what I've kind of named as root and phonetics, but just a way of spelling things out that it is more intuitive. All right, number 2, can. The word can if you notice in native English speak, typically it really is pronounced as kin. Okay, so let me give you some examples. I can pick you up from the airport. I can pick you up from the airport. I can pick you up. I can pick you up. Okay? He can, let's see. He can have a drink. He can have a drink. And this has a lot to do, the idea of it being kin has a lot to do with that idea of stressed and unstressed words. So when you get into the word stress practice, we have an exercise in the program contrasting the can and can't. And a lot of times this word is confused, can and can't, because really can is typically pronounced as kin, because it's unstressed. And can't is a negative word. It gets emphasis. If you remember, or if you've gotten to the word stress lesson, you know that negative words get that emphasis or that stress. So you're really going to pronounce that vowel, can't. So if you're saying I can go, that typically is going to be, for native English speakers, it's going to be confused with can't because you're pronouncing that vowel in full. Whereas if you reduce that vowel in can and say kin, then it's not easily confused with can't. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, go back to the word stress lesson, and in the section between can and can't, and there's a lesson there on can and can't, and you can review those in detail. All right, another common English word, it's not off, it's pronounced of, okay? Of, we have lot of tomatoes. We have a lot of tomatoes, of, okay? The, and if you notice, I think it's in week 1 or 2, we talk about the two different pronunciations of the. There's the and the, and that those two different pronunciations depend on the following word. The apple, the banana, the apple, the banana. And again, go back to that lesson if you're not remembering this the. But if you listen to native English speakers, sometimes they're using the, sometimes they're using the. All right, the word get, it's really get with a short I. We don't say get. Will you get me? If you notice native English speakers, they don't say, will you get me the paper? Usually the way it's pronounced is, will you get me the paper? Get me. I will get going now. All right, get. All right, the word been is really been. It's pronounced, the spelling is really bean. It should be bean, but this is a common word and is usually reduced to been. So how have you been? I've been really good. Thank you for asking. He's been working all day long. Been. Okay, so just a few little words in English, and some of this has to do with the fact that because they're common words in English, they get reduced, and this is just a nuance of kind of native English speakers. And if you listen carefully, this is what you're going to be hearing. Okay, let's do some more practice here. Okay, so I've written out, and I've just used the Rudin phonetics where it's just intuitive, kind of the way it should be spelled based on the pronunciation, and wrote out some words. So I'm going to give you a minute to kind of read through this sentence and see if you can figure out what it's saying. All right, so I'm going to read through this. So it's not what you see, it's what you hear. It's not what you see, it's what you hear. So based on the pronunciation, typical pronunciation of these words, This is how, just if you were to spell things the way it's pronounced, this is what you would get. Okay, let's do another one. All right, so I want you to even write it in the question box if you know what it is. Go ahead and write it real quick in the question box as soon as you know what it is. And a lot of times it helps to say it out loud if you're in a situation where you can say the phrase out loud. All right, so this one is, yep, good job. You have to listen. You have to listen. Good. Good. Okay, let's do another one. Write it down if you can figure that one out. All right. Okay, good. Some of you getting it. Can you read this? Can you read this? Can you read this? Good. Okay, another one. Okay, good. Some of you getting it. All right, good. So this one is tune your ear. 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 Okay. Yep. Okay. And then this one. And again, I'm using Rudin phonetics. So, with the capital TH, it means voiced TH sound. And so you have to be somewhat familiar with Rudin phonetics to be able to get this, but hopefully it's intuitive enough that it makes sense. So good. Good. You guys are getting this. This is a good reason to listen. This is a good reason to listen. Okay, so we're really just looking at not necessarily how it is spelled in English, but how it's pronounced. Okay, so how about some of these? So these are just short phrases that I've done. So continue to type in if you know it. All right, so this one, good. A lot of you getting it. Go on, go on, go on, and go on. Okay, go on. And this is when you get to the point of linking, the linking exercise, you'll understand why that W sound is in there, because it has to, the linking rules, when you end with one word, one letter, and you begin with the same, or end with one sound and begin with the same sound in the next word, a lot of times there needs to be a connector there. Go on, go on, because it's difficult to get your mouth from go on, go on. Typically what native English speakers say is go on. Okay, try this one. Okay, good. Okay, so it's, do I know you? Do I know you? Do I know you? And again, the link between two vowels there, the O and do I, and then the I in I, you typically get a glide there and a W sound. Do I know you? Good. All right, try another one. Good. Okay. So this one, what are you doing, or what you doing? A lot of times native English speakers, they reduce and say, what you doing? What you doing? Instead of what are you doing? What are you doing? The more relaxed and just kind of conversational way of saying it is, what you doing? What you doing? Okay. All right, try another one. All right, good job. Give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a try. Okay, again, this linking, this idea of linking, give it a try. And when you look at that D sound, instead of give it a try, give it a try, with the rules of linking, and especially the tap T rule that you learn in, I think, week 2 of the program, the tap T rule, where the T becomes a D pronunciation when it's surrounded by vowels. So if you see that T sound and give it a try, that T is surrounded by vowels, so you're going to pronounce it as a D. And this is not critical for, to be understood in English, but it is more natural for a native English speaker to use this type of pronunciation. Give it a try. Give it a try. All right, try this one. All right, good. Okay, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. All right, a lot of this has to do with linking, where we kind of link words together, and sometimes it gets confusing as to where one word ends and the next one begins because of linking rules. But come on in. Come on in. Okay, for the next one. Okay, all right, good. I want to get one. I want to get one. So instead of I want to get one, I want to get one is typically I want to, I want to, I want to get one. So like we say get, want to get one. We typically don't say get, we say get. I want to, and is usually typically in conversation is wanna. I want to, wanna, I wanna, I want to. It's just a reduced pronunciation. Listen for native English speakers on this one, and see if it sounds too sloppy for you. If you're listening to someone, you're thinking, okay, they're just sounding too sloppy, then don't mimic that. But because it's so common, it tends to be not looked at as sloppy, but just typical. All right, try this last one here. Okay, good. All right. He can talk a lot. So he can talk a lot. He can talk a lot. Just like I was talking about the can instead of he can, because that can, when you fully pronounce that ah sound, it gets confused with can't. Okay, so he can talk a lot. He can talk a lot. He can talk a lot. And if you're further along in the Pronunciation Pro course, you can see how we're looking at rules of word stress and sentence stress and linking, and there's a lot that goes into why I say he can talk a lot. I'm not emphasizing, as far as word stress or sentence stress goes, I'm stressing important words in the sentence. Can is not the important word, because that can is usually reduced. Talk is the most important part. He can talk a lot. Okay, so I'm stressing important parts of the word. I'm linking, and there's word stress going on here. So if you're further along in the course, you can kind of see how things start to work together. All right, so let's get into this is really where learning to listen is so vitally important with learning pronunciation, is with the vowels. Okay, so it's there's some differences between that you have to learn between the TH sound and the D sound. Sometimes people are saying that, non-native English speakers say, instead of the, with the tongue between the teeth, they're saying duh, with a D sound. And instead of went, they're saying vent with a V. So instead of W, went, they're saying a V sound, vent. Okay, so part of the program is helping you understand the difference between those consonant sounds. But I think where you really have to significantly tune your ear to is the vowels. So we're going to jump into vowel practice here. And again, I want lots of participation because as you're actively engaged in this exercise, you're going to learn more and you're going to be able to get more out of it. All right. So let's go into long vowels. So again, I'm doing root and phonetics. So let me just briefly explain what these symbols mean. When I put a slash marks between sounds, it just means that's the sound and not the letter that I'm talking about. So when there's slash marks between like surrounding a letter, it means I'm talking about the sound of that. Okay, so long vowels in root and phonetics, what we have is we have the long vowel sorry. When I do a capital letter, I'm talking about the long pronunciation of it, or it's saying its name. So I'm saying A, okay? I'm saying I for the next one. U, O. So, and these are words like cape, cape. I'm saying the name of the letter. And then ripe, ripe. And then for the U, it's cute, cute. I'm saying the name of the letter. And then note, note. All right. And then the double E is E. I'm saying E. Okay. The double O is oo. OOH means like in book. There's kind of a which is different than ooh, Okay, so if this is not exactly as clear as day, don't worry. Through the program, you're going to learn a little bit more. And then ow, 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 and OY, oi, oi. Okay, oi. So let's go. We're going to practice these long vowels. And I'm going to say, so here's a word in English, and I want you to identify what the vowel sound is. So for example, this first one, place, place. What vowel sound are you hearing? And use the key above to kind of identify which of these vowels is there. Place. So if you say it out loud to yourself, get that long pronunciation, a, place, a. So it's going to be that capital A sound. A, place, a, place, place. Okay, so this is just a listening exercise, and we're just trying to identify which vowel is there. All right, go ahead with this one. I'm going to say it, and you identify which vowel it is. Try, try, try. And if you have the answer, go ahead and write it in the questions box. So this is the long I. Try, I. It's saying the name of its letter. How about this one? Cute. And I kind of gave you the clue before because I used this as an example, but cute, cute, cute. Good, good. It's that long U sound. Cute, cute. All right, next one. Boat, boat. Which vowel are you hearing here? Boat. And there's two vowel letters, but only one vowel sound that's used. Boat, boat. So in this one, it's the long O. O, bow, oat. All right, let's keep going. We. The way it's spelled, it should be we, but it's usually pronounced we. Okay, so we have that long E. About blue. Blue. Which vowel is that? that long ooh, ooh, ooh sound. All right, how about this one? House, house, house. It's that ow, ow sound. Ow, ow, house. How about this one? Join, join. Oi, oi is the vowel. Oi. Okay, so hopefully you're kind of listening to this and just thinking, tuning your ear and really focusing on what is the vowel sound that I'm hearing. Can you hear the difference between those? A, place, try, cute, boat, we, blue, house, house, join. Okay, really being able to tune your ear to these different sounds is going to help you significantly as you're listening to other native English speakers and trying to kind of mimic their sounds. You have to understand the difference between these vowel sounds. All right, so just real quick, I'm just gonna take a look here. Good. Good. I was just looking at the questions things I have. Technically, when I'm in full screen mode, it's hard for me to see all the answers. Okay, so we'll go back in here. Okay, so now, let me jump to the next slide here. All right, so let's get into the short vowel sounds, Okay, so when we talk about English vowel sounds, I divide them into long sounds and short vowel sounds. Okay, so the short vowel sounds are a, that's that lowercase a, I, that lowercase I, ah, eh. Okay, so I'm going to go through those again. The short vowel sounds tend to be the hardest to hear the difference between. Okay, so if you're having a hard time hearing the difference between all of these and actually being able to say the difference between all of these, you're not alone. This is a tough one. Okay, so I'm going to go through them again. A, I, ah, eh. Okay, so all of these sounds we go through individually in the 12-week pronunciation pro course. So if you're not quite there yet to the vowels yet, you will get there. So and you'll get a lot more practice between these individual sounds. But for now, let's go through and practice listening for these individual vowel sounds. All right, so I'll say the word and you either type in and kind of think to yourself what the vowel sound is here. So flat, flat, flat. Good, it's that short flat, flat, ah. Okay, this, this, this. Good, it's the short I sound there. Short I. So this is typical with Spanish speaking, those who their first language is Spanish language or Portuguese. It is common to do instead of this short I sound to do the long E. So instead of this, typically what I hear is these, okay, with that E sound instead of eh, which makes sense because the spelling in Spanish, that short I or that lowercase I is an E pronunciation. So there's confusion there for a good reason, but you have to kind of focus and think, okay, English, for this English I sound, it's eh, eh, eh. Okay, how about this one? Summer. I'm just looking at that first vowel there. Summer, summer, summer. Good, it's okay? This is the most neutral, relaxed vowel sound in English, and it's actually the most common vowel sound. Typically, the it's referred to as the schwa, but sa, summer. Okay, how about this one? Honor, honor. So this one's interesting because it starts with an H in its spelling, but that H is not pronounced. So we start really with a vowel sound. So honor. So I want to hear that first vowel sound in this word. Honor, honor. Good. Ah, honor, honor. Good. How about this one? Above, above. I'm wondering if I did this one right. Yeah. Above. Both vowel sounds in here are above, of. Okay. Above. Good. Okay. So the rest of it, I'm not going in order. If you noticed before, I was kind of going in order. Ah, ah. I'm not doing it in order anymore. So really listen to friend, friend. So with the spelling rules, if you've gotten to the part in the program where, or in the pronunciation pro course where we've talked about vowels, you'd look at this word and think it needs to be friend, because of the spelling rules. But this one's friend, friend. So what vowel is that? Friend. It's the friend, friend. Good. Okay, how about this one? Is. Good. Okay, short I. Is. Again, with our Spanish speakers, this is typically pronounced as ease, instead of is. So we have to really work on getting that short I sound. Is. Okay, how about this one? Trap, trap. All right, good. Short ah sound. Ah, trap. Okay, how about draw, What vowel sound are you hearing here? Draw. Short ah. Okay, ah, draw. Not drow, right? But draw. Okay, how about this one? Scent, What vowel sound are we hearing here? Scent. Short scent, And just to contrast some of these, I'm going to use that same word scent, and I'm going to go through and put the other vowel sounds in it. So I'm going to go in order, starting with that short that short a there, and I'm going to go sant, scent, sunt, sont, scent. Okay, so it's interesting to kind of just change the one vowel through a certain word where we keep all the rest of the sounds the same. Okay, so I'm going to do that one again, using that word scent. I'm going to go through and put the different short vowels in place of that short eh. Okay, sant, scent, sunt, sont, scent. All right, so hopefully that kind of helps your listening ear and helps practice. Again, you're not going to be perfect at this at the beginning, and especially depending on where you are in the program, if you're at week 1 versus your week 11, or even if just it for some it's a little bit harder than others. So just be patient with yourself and know that it's an exercise. These are exercises. Just as you exercise your muscles, you have to exercise that listening, exercise your ear and exercise that listening skill. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense. There really is a connection between just kind of weeding out and not paying attention to, just kind of really disconnecting from the spelling of English and concentrating on the listening. What do you hear from native English speakers? What are you hearing when they say certain words? What are you, hearing is the first step. And then, as you know through the course, that as you listen, you listen, you tune your ear to those things, and then learn the shape of the mouth, learn kind of how to do it correctly yourself. Then there's this progression there that you can make as you continue to practice these sounds. And especially as you really are listening and practicing the listening skills, that's what is going to make you tune in enough to be able to correct your own mistakes as you go along. So, for now, you might rely, depending on, if I'm able to give you feedback for those Plus and Premier students, I'm giving you feedback and kind of helping you along the way, understand what you're doing correctly and what you're not. But you'll be able to really, when you practice this listening skill, you'll be able to correct your own mistakes, because you'll hear the mistakes, you'll hear the differences that you're saying versus what it should be. And that's really such a significant skill as we're doing this. Okay, so this is the final part. We're getting, let me just kind of look down here, make sure we're all on the same page here. Yep. Okay, so with root and phonetics, we have, so vowels. So I'm going to combine all of the, and this is kind of taking it from we were doing very simple exercises, and this is a little bit more advanced here. But we're going to take all the long vowels that we've talked about. We're going to take all the short vowels. So there's your key. That's kind of the vowels that we've been talking about. And I'm going to give you a phrase, and I want you to go kind of word by word and identify which vowels you're hearing through the phrase. Okay, so you can either write your answers in the question box or on a piece of paper or something like that, because it's going to get a little bit more advanced here. So I'm going to give an example for the first one, and then you'll see what I'm looking for the rest of them. It takes practice. It takes practice. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to think, okay, it, short I, okay, takes, I'm hearing that A sound in there, takes, so long A, practice, that short vowel, that vowel, first vowel is okay, that's a short vowel, that short A, practice, short I. Okay, so the way I wrote it out was short I, and then I did a dash because it's the next word, long A, dash, and then short A and short I there for that phrase. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in this exercise, for you to identify in each word all of the vowels that are there. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit more time and focus. So I'll give you a little bit more time to get your answer here, but and then we'll go over the answers together. Begin to listen. Begin to listen. Begin to listen. Begin to listen. All right. All right, hopefully that's enough time for you. Okay, so let's go through it. B, long E there. Begin, in, I, short I. To, oo, long O, a long oo sound. Listen, listen. So I think this is two short I sounds, and I think that you really have to listen to this word, because it's not listen, it's listen, even though there's an E there. Listen. Okay, hopefully you got that one. If not, be patient with yourself and keep practicing here. Okay, I'm going to say it, so listen to this one. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So do what you're hearing from me right now, not necessarily you can, you can, oh, actually, you can do it. Let me change that. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So more typically what native speakers are going to say. You can do it. You can do it. You can you can do it. Okay, so long oo and you. You know what? I made an error there. You. It's not the oo sound, it's you. I'm saying the long U, okay? Because I'm saying you can do it. So it's not, it's the y, you. That whole U sound is just the letter U. Okay, so it's the long U there. So it shouldn't be the double O, it should be the capital U. Made my own mistake. Okay, so you're not alone. If you're making mistakes today, you're not alone. Okay, kin. Okay, short I there. Do, that's where the long oo sound goes in. It, short I. All right, let's try this one. Try your best. Try your best. Try your best. As I've heard native English speakers use that interchangeably. They usually say your or your or your. Try your best or try your best. Try your best. And this is a little bit of a trick question in the second letter, so let me just explain. So try, long I there. Try your, so this is getting into R vowels. So sorry about that, I kind of threw you on that one. Try your, and you learn about R vowels in week 3, I think it is. And then best, best. Okay, how about practice this exercise? Practice this exercise. Practice this exercise. Practice this exercise. Okay, let's go over it. Short sound. Practice, short I. This, short I. Exercise, short and then there's a R vowel, exer, and then size, size, long I there. Okay, I think that was it. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm just going to pull those up again real quick. So going through this exercise, it's just tuning your ear to those little sounds of American English pronunciation, and especially the vowel sounds. This is the key. This is really so important in learning correct English pronunciation and fluency, is going through some of these exercises and learning to listen, learning to hear the differences between the vowel sounds and between the consonants. But the consonants tend to be a little bit easier, and as you go through the course, you'll be able to do sound exercises to hear the difference between some of these sounds. But especially the vowels tend to need a little bit more practice. So just going through this exercise alone today is such good exercise. It's really good in developing that skill set of hearing the difference between these vowel sounds. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you a little homework today. I want you to take these vowel sounds and kind of write out that key, long vowels, short vowels, and then just grab a book, grab something that has writing on it. I'm just looking at my desk and there's writing everywhere. Take a phrase, just like any phrase you see, write it out, and then see if you can identify the vowel sounds in it. Okay, what are the vowel sounds? What should they be? And for those Plus and Premier members, where you're sending in, your weekly assignments and things, you can send me, this homework assignment. I want you to do, 10 to 20 phrases, and see if you can. And actually, you know what? Even if you're a basic member, go ahead and send me. Go ahead and send me an email, and with the phrase, I want to see a phrase, 10 words, a phrase, and then just like we did here, what vowel sounds you're hearing in the phrase. So go ahead and send that to me, and I'll correct it. I'll take a look at it and correct it, and see if you're getting the correct sounds in there. Because this exercise really does help you hear the difference. So anyone who's listening to this, the webinar, if you're a member of Pronunciation Pro, go ahead and send me an email with 10 words, 10 phrases or sentences with the vowel sounds kind of written out. All right. I want to make sure that you're doing it correctly, you're hearing the correct sounds, and can get a little bit more practice with some feedback that way. All right, so I hope you learned a lot today. I hope you go back and practice these skills. The recording for this webinar will be under webinars in the Pronunciation Pro course, and as you go through the 12-week course, and as you continue to practice beyond the 12-week course, listening. It's all about listening, being able to tune your ear to the different sounds of English, the difference in how the rhythm, how English speakers are using rhythm, and as you really practice to tune your ear to the differences there, and do exercises like this, or just even the course itself, you'll notice that as you go through the 12-week course, you'll be able to your listening skills will just increase week by week, and it's a product of the course. It's how it's the way we designed it so that you can build those listening skills throughout. All right, so good luck. Please email if you have any questions. I'm available by email, and I get back as soon as possible, and usually it's pretty quick. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll stick around for a little bit if you have questions now. Oh, just to go over real quick, for those who are basic members and you're interested in getting feedback weekly through the course, there's the Plus and the Premier package to take a look at. The Plus package is pretty great. Premier is wonderful too because you get live training, but the Plus package allows me to week by week give you feedback via recording. And it just allows me to work with you individually. Okay, so I'm going to stick around for questions. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll stick around. But thank you so much for attending this webinar, and I hope to see you back for our next webinar next month. Thanks.